It's the grandson of Right Thought. So in these last days, we've had a lot of infiltrators trying to infiltrate the truth, talking about spiritual Israel, coming in and being Israelites in the place of God's chosen people. We know that's not the way it goes. Now, we've been proving it through scripture if you've been following the videos. But now we're going to learn about how you become an Israelite, how to be grafted in. We're going to let the Most High teach us the way that you enter into Israel if you are of another nation. Let's read. It's the book of Ruth, chapter 1. Now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land, and a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. So there was an Israelite, a certain man, with his family, his wife, and his 2 sons. They went to the country of Moab because there was a famine. All right. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife, Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, Ephrathites in Bethlehem, Judah. All right. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. So it said the man's name, his wife's name, and their 2 sons. They went to Moab and they were there. And Elimelech, Naomi's husband, died, and she was left and her 2 sons. The man died. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. So Elimelech dies. The man who took his family there, he died. But Naomi's there with her 2 sons, where her 2 sons take 2 Moabite women to marry. One was named Orpah, the other was named Ruth. And they dwelt there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them. They both died. And the woman was left of her 2 sons and her husband. That's Naomi. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how the Lord had visited his people. You see that? His people, in giving them bread, delivering them from the famine. Wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. So now here is 1 Israelite woman, Naomi, and 2 Moabite women. So to get the visual in your mind, imagine a so-called Negro woman and 2 Asian women. Okay? And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters, went too far. 2 daughters-in-law with her, and they went on their way to return to the land of Judah. See? And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, go return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me. She says, now y'all go ahead and go back home. I'm home now. I'm good. The Lord grant you that you may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. See, they've been living together for 10 years, it said? So now they're crying. And they said unto her, surely we will return unto thee, unto thy people. They said, nope, we're going with you. You see that? To you and your people. You see that? Listen carefully, guys. And they said unto her, surely we will return with you unto your people. See? And Naomi said, turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? And there yet any more sons in my womb? Are there yet any more sons in my womb? I don't have any more sons to marry you to, that they may be your husbands. She says, what good am I to you guys? Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have a husband. If I should say I have hope, if I should have a husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would you tarry for them till they were grown? She says, even if I had a husband and had sons tonight, would you wait until they were grown up to marry them? Would you stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is gone out against me. And they lifted up their voice and wept again. And Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her, holding on to her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is gone back unto her people and unto her gods. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. So Orpah left. She says, look, Ruth, your sister's gone. You go with her. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God, my God. Did you hear that, everybody? So Ruth, who is a Moabite, says, no, I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to go wherever you go. And wherever you sleep, I'm going to sleep. And your people, the Jews, it told you that's who she was, they shall be my people. And their God, your God, Abba Yah, will be my God. So now she's going to take on the spiritual Israel. Do you see? It was already a foreshadowing with them marrying Judite men. You see? Showing you how a grafted in branch comes to be. Let's keep going. Where thou diest, will I die. She continues. She says, wherever you die, I'm going to die. And there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if aught but death part thee and me. Says the Most High might as well kill me. That's the only thing that's going to separate me and you is death. You see that? When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, she said she knew she wasn't going nowhere. Then she left speaking unto her. She just gave up. She said, okay, she ain't going to let me kick her out. I got to bring her with me. So they two went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass when they were come to Bethlehem that all the city was moved about them. And they said, is this Naomi? And she said unto them, call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. Mara means bitter. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord hath testified against me, and the Almighty hath afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, which returned out of the country of Moab, and they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of barley harvest. Do y'all see that? Let's keep going. Ruth chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman, a family member of her husband's, see, an in-law, a mighty man of wealth of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz, see, of the tribe of Judah. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him, in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz. So she just happened, what this means, she just happened to go to the place that belonged to Boaz, his field, who was the kin of Elimelech. So happened to be the same man mentioned. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem, and said unto the reapers, the Lord be with you. And they answered him, the Lord bless thee. That's the way we used to salute each other back in the day. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, whose damsel is this? He said, who is this girl, this Moabitess? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered and said, it is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came, and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the field. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. He says, don't go into another field to glean. Don't even leave here, but stay here. Let thine eyes be on the field, that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn. So he's being kind to her. He's like, I got my men watching over you. They ain't going to hurt you. If you get thirsty, get you something to drink. Make sure you get what you need. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground and said unto him, why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger? You see? She's like, you're a Jew. Why are you even caring about me at all? You see? And Boaz answered and said unto her, it hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father. Listen, hast left thy father, your father, and your mother, and the land of your nativity, where nation comes from that word, nativity, which means birth, and art come unto a people which thou knowest not heretofore. You didn't even know the Jews, but you gave all that up to come be a part of our nation. I heard about that, he said. And the Lord recompense your work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord God of Israel. See, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Look at that, guys. He says, you did a great thing. The Most High, let him pay you for what you've done. A full reward, he said, be given you from the God of Israel, under whose wings you are come to trust. That's how you come into the nation of Israel. Humble submission like she did. Didn't it say she fell on her face and bowed herself before a Jew named Boaz? Called herself a stranger? Do y'all see that? How many of you so-called spiritual Jews are doing that shit now? Y'all niggas stepping in and shit like y'all run shit with pride. Pride of life. I'm Israel now without even acknowledging his people. That didn't happen here, did it? Nope. Then she said, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord. Look at what she's calling him, my Lord, Adonai. For that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid. Though I be not like unto one of thine handmaidens. She says, I'm different. See, remember, I told you, take an Israelite woman and then take a Chinese woman. They'll get the idea in your mind. She says, I'm not like them. I'm different, but you've been just as kind to me as you've been to them. And Boaz said unto her, at mealtime come thou hither. Listen what he's saying. And eat of the bread and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, and he reached her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left. He said, get you something to eat too while you're here. And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not. And let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her. He said, let some fall on purpose. Let her get extra. And leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not. Don't correct her for gathering it. You see that? So she gleaned in the field unto even, and beat out that which she had gleaned, and it was about an ephah of barley. And she took it up, and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw which she had gleaned, and she brought forth, and gave it to her, that she had reserved after she was sufficed. So she ate whatever she ate when she was there, and she brought the left. And it was what she took from the field. And Naomi took it in, see? And her mother-in-law said unto her, where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. She said, where was you at? Because this man hooked you up, see? And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, the man's name with whom I wrought this today is Boaz, her husband's brother. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, blessed be he of the Lord, who hath not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. See, he's kind to both. And Naomi said unto her, the man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen. And Ruth the Moabitess said, he said unto me also, thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, it is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee, not in any other field. She says, good, you'll be safe that way. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. All right. Ruth chapter 3. Then Naomi her mother-in-law said unto her, my daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? So a husband is considered rest to a woman. A woman that doesn't have a husband is unrest, you see. So she says, let me give you some rest from your labors. And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whom maidens thou was? Behold, he winnoweth with barley tonight in the threshing floor. She says, he's next of kin, which means he can legally marry you, see? Wash therefore thyself and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee. She says, get all beautiful and smell good and shit. And get thee down to the floor, and go where Boaz is tonight, see? But make not thyself known unto the man, until he shall have done eating and drinking. Make sure he feeling good first. Look at Naomi, giving her the game, giving Ruth the game. And it shall be, when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie, and thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. You see? And she said unto her, all that thou sayest unto me I will do. Ruth said, okay, I'll do everything you told me to do. And she went down unto the floor, and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, see, that's the key. His heart was merry. He was feeling good. He went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn, and she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down. So Ruth is laying down next to Boaz, right? And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thine handmaid. Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. In other words, lay with me. You see that? Marry me. That's how you marry a woman. You spread your skirt over her, which is the bottom part of your garment. You cover her with that to conceal the fact that you're making love. See? And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast shown more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning, inasmuch as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. He said you weren't going after the outward appearance. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest, for all the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman. He called Ruth a virtuous woman. Proverbs says, Who can find a virtuous woman? Ruth, the Moabite woman, was a virtuous woman. So everybody know that. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I. He says, there's one man that has more legal rights to you than I do. Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth. Lie down until the morning. Part of a kinsman means that if a man has a bride and he dies before he can raise up seed with her, that his next of kin, his nearest of kin, usually his brother or whoever's his nearest of kin, will lay with that woman to produce seed of her. That's what she was asking Boaz to do. He says, well, let's wait till tomorrow because there's another man that has more rights to you. Everybody's doing this righteously. And she lay at his feet until the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. And he said, let it not be known that a woman came into the floor. So she got up right before the sun came up and they dipped off. Also he said, bring the veil that thou hast upon thee and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley and laid it on her, and she went into the city. So he still hooked her up. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done to her. And she said, these 6 measures of barley gave he me, for he said to me, go not empty into thy mother-in-law. See? Then said she, sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall, for the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day. All right. Last chapter. Then went Boaz up to the gate and sat him down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by. See? Unto whom he said, ho, such a one, turn aside, sit down here. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, sit ye down here. And they sat down. So he wants witnesses. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech's. See? And I thought to advertise thee, saying, buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me, that I may know, for there is none to redeem it beside thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Then said Boaz, what day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi, thou must buy it also of Ruth the Moabitess, see, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, see, to give him an heir. And the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance. Redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. He says, no, I'm not going to redeem Ruth, because I don't want to mar my own inheritance. I want to give my seed to an Israelite. I don't want to give it to a Moabite, you see? So he says, now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. See, this is the way they used to do it, he said, in Israel. For to confirm all things, a man plucked off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor, and this was a testimony in Israel. That's the way they used to do it, he said. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, ye are witnesses this day, see, that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilon's and Mahlon's in the hand of Naomi, see. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife. to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, We are witnesses. Y'all see? The Lord make the woman that is coming to thine house like Rachel. Look at the blessing that they're putting on Ruth now, because she entered into Israel humbly. Make you like Rachel and Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. Listen, and do thou worthily in Ephrathah, and be famous in Bethlehem. Let's see if she's going to be famous, y'all. And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, who Tamar bare unto Judah, of the seed which the Lord shall give thee, of this young woman. Listen at this. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be upon thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age, for thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons have borne him. While they said Ruth to Naomi was better than 7 sons to Naomi. And Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom, and became nurse unto it. She took care of the little baby, her grandbaby. And the women, her neighbors, gave it a name. Well, let's see what they named the baby, saying, There is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of King David. Do y'all see that? I told you. So Ruth bore Obed. Obed had Jesse, Yisai. It's his true name, Yisai, which is the grandson of Ruth, who bore David, King David, from the tribe of Judah. You see? Let's go. Now these are the generations of Pharez. Pharez begat Hezron. Pharez is the son of Judah. See? Begat Hezron, and Hezron begot Ram, and Ram begot Amminadab, and Amminadab begot Nasan, and Nasan begot Salmon, and Salmon begot Boaz, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David. Y'all see that? So that's how you truly come into the nation of Israel. And Abba Yah will bless you and rise you like he did Ruth, the Moabitess woman, who said, Your people are going to be my people. Your God's going to be my God now. And she was translated and grafted into the royal family. Y'all see that? That's the true way to do it. Not these lies that you have been taught. Humble submission. Everybody must return by humble submission. Silouan Israel.